Welcome to Torpid Cast. Today we're going to be watching Azrael playing as the Lord Commissar here on the Caldaris Desert. He's going to be facing a Chaos Sorcerer of Kaioken. Kaioken. Is that like Hadouken? But Kaioken. I don't know. But anyway, he's going to be doing a rather conventional 2 Chaos Heretic opening with his CSM. What's a little bit weird for Kaioken is that he's dedicating all of his initial troops down this side of the map, leaving presumably his second tick to take this wreck point. I don't actually dislike that. I quite like that play. Quite like it. Let's see how he can deal with the Commissar and the Sentinel early on. I mean, it's not going to be easy. Heretics can't really do anything to the Commie or the Sentinel, which is a bit awkward for them. Yeah, I think some of these heretics should just go after the Sentinel so it doesn't have free reign to pew pew. But at least if they're in melee with the Sentinel, I don't know, it forces the Sentinel away. Whatever. It doesn't really make any difference if they're in melee with the Lord Commissar. They're going to take a little less damage as well. Doom bolts onto the Sentinel. I mean, it does something. It's very, very, very frustrating as a Chaos Sorcerer to kill a Sentinel early on. And a Lord Commissar as well. But really, standing there with the Guardsman's not a good idea. Okay, they should be just focusing the Guardsmen right now. Yeah, because you don't have a lot of DPS early on. Not without your Heretics, and the Heretics should not be DPSing a Sentinel. Like, the IG players shouldn't be allowing you to do that. So you focus on the Guardsmen. The Guardsmen do bleed quite a lot when they don't have their Sergeant. They don't really want to be fighting without the Sergeant, just using them for capping and repairs and stuff. Because you want to delay your Sergeant for as long as you possibly can in order to maximise your wreck income. This means you get more gens and it means you get a really fast Kadishan Devils, as you can see right here. So he's actually optimised the speed at which he gets cats there by getting no gens, which is kind of crazy to me. Feels like IG plays so weird now. Fighting a Chaos Sorcerer, it's a no-brainer completely to go for the tanky melee armor on your Lord Commissar and the Power Sword. Certainly if they go for anything other than Havocs, but shit, even if they go Havocs, it doesn't really matter. You just get Spotters and then do the same thing, so these 2 upgrades will be mandatory, but Noise Marines are a good choice in general because they can help counter Kadishan Devils 1v1, which is really nice. Shutting down all the abilities of the Kadishan Devils is nice, and because Kadishan Devils have this high density squad, I mean, look how tightly packed all these boys are. They take a lot of damage from the AoE Sonic Blaster of the Noise Marines. Carapace armor is coming out for the Commissar. That is his tier 1 tanky melee hero armor. So you can see here, 2.5 HP per second regen he gets with this armor, and 200 extra max HP. So he's just a pain to get rid of when he has this upgrade. GL ticks are a purchase here for Kaioken, and that's okay. You get auto guns, which can help shoot the Commissar. Commissar fucking up here. Should have the shield on, the refractor shield, so he stops getting knocked over. He activates it eventually, but the ability's nearly ended there, so that was way too late. Should have used that a lot sooner. And a bit of an overextension there from Azrael. Has to retreat that Lord Commissar rather unnecessarily. Would have been nice to keep him in play. Still no upgrades on the Guardsmen, but we do see full gens on the way. We got 2 gens for Kaioken. Probably going to see an AC. Oh, I was going to say on the Geotics at some point, but gonna get an AC on the melee ticks. And now that the AC gets a bolter on the jail ticks, it can be pretty good. Just capping around the map right now. Avoiding big army versus army fight, but you can't really do that if they've got Noise Marines, because they're going to break down the gem farm real quick. What is there to defend it? Okay, Commissar, but he's going in solo. Not ideal. There's actually a decent amount of range damage right now. You've got 2 bolters on the Noise Marines, 3 bolters on the CSM who have the Eternal War for extra damage. You can see that because of the plus icon above their head. And then of course you've got these auto guns as well on the GL ticks, so Bit of focus fire. He was waiting for the power sword. He has it. Kaioken is focusing on the gens, not the commissar, so he's going to get routed here. But it's fine. He got all 3 gens. Azrael going to just replace them, but it's a lot of bleed that. 300 requisition. He should just retreat. He can't do anything here. He can't get rid of the commissar. He's going to be way too tanky, and he's going to just kill CSM. Just retreat, man. What are you doing? I don't know what the point of this is. Yep, there you go. Loses a CSM. It's an expensive loss. 66 wreck down the drain. That 300 wreck that you just drained from Azrael, you kind of blowing that advantage. And this is the other problem, right? IG not getting any sergeants. They are really, really efficient. Oh, fuck me. He sneaked around the side with Guardsmen with Flamers. Dude, Guardsmen with Flamers are so OP. It's such bullshit that a 6-man shitty basic Guardsman squad can wipe a gen farm like that by just picking up Flamers for super cheap. And the worst thing is that you get to tier 2 and they just pull out plasma guns. Like they're a Space Marine. That's meant to be a unique mechanic for the Space Marines. So dumb. That whole push that Kaioken did there to get an advantage was just completely shut down because these stupid Guardsmen ran over with Flamers and burnt down his farm in a counter bash. You basically can't make any aggressive plays whatsoever in tier 1 anymore against IG. They're completely broken. They're totally broken. There's no doubt about it. There will eventually be a rework, but I'm not very confident in the Elite Mod team's ability to produce an effective rework, so yeah, we'll see where that leaves us. We'll see where that leaves us. AoE damage is one thing that's good against the IG, though. He's going to lose his Noise Marines, isn't he? Commissar charge range is so powerful. Yeah. No Havocs is kind of making this Lord Commissar a nightmare to deal with. I mean, look at him, he just doesn't give a damn. An attempted wipe on the Sentinel here. Azrael focusing a little bit too much on his Lord Commissar and not the Sentinel, but he does it, he gets out. And now that's going to be another CSM model down. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. This Commissar is ridiculous. So hard to kill for Chaos Sorcerer. You just don't have the ranged DPS you need to take down a beast like this. You need to get Havocs, but then they just get Spotters, which never bleed, like basically everything in the IG roster. And it's just a terrible, terrible time. I'm not sure how you're meant to win, really. These guys, by the way, if they stand on top of an IED, will get blown up entirely. Just wiped instantly, the entire squad. So that's pretty rough. So you need to get an AC tick on these. Especially when you give them the GLs, they will blob up even more than when they're in the melee form. But as you can see, even in the melee form, they blob up a lot. Very vulnerable to IEDs. I'm not sure how they're going to do here, given the lack of old reliable. Quite good. Power melee damage on the AC is quite scary. Yeah. That is the Kadishans doing power melee into the AC of the Heretics, who is a heavy infantry, in spite of the actual Heretics themselves being infantry fire resist. Pretty spooky. Tier 2 for Kaioken coming up. He has got the Rod of Warpfire queued. Now he's cancelled it. Don't blame him. What's the plan? Chimera coming up for Azrael. I'm not sure how Azrael is going to lose this one. He is massively ahead right now. Surprisingly not that far ahead in VPs though. Only 40. I would have expected more. Weird. Sentinel hunting GL ticks is always a good thing. As long as it keeps moving, the grenade launchers will miss a lot. And they're very squishy. Okay. Not really seen many juicy Doom Bolts. That should have been a Doom Blast to stop the Guardsmen being able to flee and get into the Chimera. Now they're manning the side turrets on the Chimera, increasing its DPS quite a lot. Yeah, now the heretics have to flee, for God's sake. Oh, and there's nothing the sorcerer can really do. Yeah, Doom bolts onto a Chimera is not going to do too much, and these Guardsmen reinforcing off of it. Okay, they need to get into the Chimera. They don't want to eat a Dark Flames. Bit slow on that move. Chaos Dreadnought for Kaioken. Commissar purchased here for the Guardsmen. Plasma guns on the 6-man Guardsman squad. That's quite funny. That's Seraph tactics right there. Sorcerer just walks in and gets shot to death. Bizarre. I don't know what the plan was there. Melee Heretics looking rather lost. There are Kadishans in the back line, so indeed those Melee Heretics aren't going to do too much. And the Flamer's actually going to be pretty effective here, countering the cover that the CSM were in, and also going to do a lot of damage to the Heretics. Oh my god. Look at them getting roasted as they go into melee. Chaos Dreadnought finally appears, but he is quite late. There is a little bit of AV on the field here. Remember that the Sergeant for the Kadishan Devils does have a melter gun. So the Sea Dread needs to go tie that up, but there is a concern that the Commissar could get a Power Fist. He needs to tie up the Kadishan Devils. Kadishan Devils should be shooting the Sea Dread as well. Yeah. Okay, another kill in the Commissar. I don't know why the Commissar is not retreating, but he doesn't. He gets Sync killed. I mean, that's got to be very satisfying for Kaioken. Problem that he has right now is he doesn't have any snare to deal with the Chimera, so it'll be able to kite him quite easily, especially with a Sentinel nearby to do a little bit of damage. 100 damage from every crack missile that it launches out of its missile launcher onto vehicles. All reliable to disrupt the repairs, but that might be a wipe on the Kadishans due to Dark Flames in retreat. I'm not sure why they were so far forward. They could have moved to the side and got in the Chimera. Will they wipe? No, they're going to live. But it did kill everyone but the Sarge, so that's got to be worth something. Wow, he just threw the Sentinel? Yeah, he just threw the Sentinel. Oh man, don't you love these sloppy Saturdays games? You just don't know what's going to happen at all. It is impossible. Why the hell was he there with a Sentinel trying to duel a Sea Dread which had double repairs coming in? I have no idea, but he was for way too long. There wasn't even Mark of Tzeentch here on the CSM. That would have melted a Sentinel. That was just straight up basic ass Eternal War bolters. No Inferno bolters. So there you go. We're getting very close to that IED for some reason. The Dreadnought's very scared of this IED. Clearly slightly unfamiliar with them. They're not that terrifying. Like, the AoE is not that big. If you were here, you'd have been fine. But alright, it's going to be Ogryns. Ogryns heavy melee. Sea Dread. Also heavy melee, but has only 20% melee resist. So Ogryns will be able to put up a decent fight, especially if they get some buffs from the Power Sword. It's basically like Battlecry. You've got that lead by example. You activate it, you will always do specials. Every time you special, all your nearby troops will do more damage. So you activate that, get a few specials, buff up the Ogryns. You could also pick up Aura of Discipline to give a percentage-based heal to nearby troops. The fewer troops are nearby, the bigger the percentage-based heal, and the more frequent it occurs. Very good synergy if it's just a Commissar alongside Ogryns. And that would be able to take down a Dreadnought quite easily in melee, but there are, of course, options for a Chaos Sorcerer to control such players. Robes of Torment are probably going to be something that's needed. He's actually got the Demon Armor, and he's got the Rod of Warpfire now as well, which is what we just seen there, knocking over all these Guardsmen. Guardsmen right now picked up double plasma guns, and you can see they are melting the CSM right now. CSM really should be going into melee with the Guardsmen. But yeah, pretty poor micro from Azrael. Okay, he needs to just get out of here. Retreat the CSM. They are so low, and lots of plasma guns are going to be coming in. He loses his Sorcerer. And yeah, the Ogryns now going to be tying up the Sea Dread. You've got Kadishan Devils with that melter gun as well. Going to be quite scary. Sea Dread definitely not wanting to take on the Ogryns one-on-one. Going to need a bit of support for that. You're going to want Mark of Tzeentch on your CSM here to get the Inferno Bolters and give a Plasma Gun to your own Aspiring Champion. That will help do some damage to these Ogrins. Bolters not going to really do anything to Ogrins because of their super heavy infantry armor. Yeah, not great. Nice plays the Geotics on the side though from Kaioken. Getting a bit of map control for him, and by God does he need it. 135 VPs he's on right now. Like to see some IEDs on these points if the Geotics are going over here. For whatever reason, Kaioken has not invested in an AC for this Geotic squad, so really it should be getting wiped by IEDs. Okay, this is not a good fight for the Ogrins. Oh, I stand corrected. He has Aura of Discipline. He's fine. Big. Oh, wow. Getting lucky with special attacks right now. The Aura of Discipline heals pretty cracked. There we go. Good Doom Blast. Yep. Lord Commissar split up from his Ogrin buddies. And that's it. They're wiped. Oh, shit. Shit. Oh, God. That was a fuck up. Well, that is pretty great for Kaioken, but his problem right now is the VPs. Dude, his VP situation is very bad right now. 70 VPs remaining. He needs to hurry up and get on it. He's trying to take the mid. He's got a few Guardsmen pew-pewing him, but that's not a full squad. It's not too scary. I don't like this play with the Sea Dread so far forward bashing at this point in the game. We are super late in. I don't know how long it's been, but it feels very, very late. Guardsmen on this side. Is that like 4 Guardsmen? That's 4 dudes. 4 Guardsmen. Well, obviously there's a Commissar, but still. Capping a VP. What is going on? Come on, CSM. Get out there and do something. There's 4 Chaos Space Marines, for fuck's sake. Can't be hiding from 4 Guardsmen. Yeah, so low on VPs right now, Kaioken. Only 56. He's got the Icon of Tzeentch. Bit of splash damage on that. He's got the Power Claw coming out for the commie. That will do something against the Dreadnought. Bonk. Not if you special attack a fleeing Dreadnought. But yeah, the Dreadnought should be able to 1v1 this guy with repairs. Absolutely pointless GL barrage because of their shield, so that was pretty stupid. Whoops. Whoopsie. Yeah, he should just force melee, you're fine. If he's gonna be fighting your heretics, then you're chilling, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be wasting warp fire just on the Commissar either, but whatever. Fine. Second Chaos Dreadnought is en route. Azrael needs to respond with some real AV like a Las Cannon team, which combined with Execute could be pretty deadly. No Bionic Eye here to buff things like Cadishans. Of course, he is tier 3 right now, so obviously he could just save up for a Leman Russ. Probably would want to be dropping down another generator if he wanted a Leman Russ though, that's a lot of power. I don't know what this is. Why is he staying in and fighting this? Now he's just bled a load of Kadishan Devils. I don't know what he was paying attention to. There's nothing going on over here. Setting up a rocket run? Ooh, we should get that tick. Yeah, fucking hell. He did the ch when you meant to do ch like that. So educational. Do, and then you cut it back like 20% from the end. So go to like here, and then do it again, same direction. Don't go forward and then backwards, because you miss half of it. Because the rocket run rolls the enemies out of the actual initial radius that you put it into. Yeah, save the warp fire for when his energy is down, my guy, so it actually does knock back. Come on now. Another heretic. I don't really dislike that. It's just for repair support. These double dreadnoughts are proving a problem for Azrael for some reason. But I think when he gets the Leman Russ, that should pretty much be it. I don't really know how he's going to deal with the Leman Russ. Guardsmen not expecting the 2 dreadnoughts to appear there. Yeah, they're getting ripped up. Down. And send his Kadashans to the right. It's funny, the gem bashing, even though we're super late in the game, the gem bashing is actually quite useful. Which is funny, that's very rare. Repair. Huh. He warps out. Oh wow. He could have warped that dreadnought onto the IED, and then the IED blown up would have killed the dreadnought. That would have been hilarious. But Azrael is going for a Leman Russ, and if these dreadnoughts are this far forward, they might be in trouble when the Leman Russ comes out. They need to get back. It is so risky to have your walker on the enemy 50% of the map. Now, when you're the Chaos Sorcerer and you have the red for warp, and warp is off cooldown, I'll let you off with it. You can be way more risky. But right now, Kaioken has used his warp. He's going to be on cooldown with that ability for a short while, and he doesn't have that much red either, so I'd be very wary about having my dreadnought this far forward. A Leman Russ is about to hit the field, and it's going to cause problems to the dreadnought. Oh, it's like the dreadnought knew. Oh no, let's finish off the node. Let's go, Leman. Leman, let's go. CSM getting wrecked by Kadashans, it seems. To be a good barrage on the Guardsmen. I'm going to try and focus down the commie. Where is the Leman? Dude, the Leman's just chilling. Yikes. It does have the Vanquisher. That's a much higher DPS for it. Yeah, these dreadnoughts are fucked. They're fucked. They've got good versatility with those autocannons, but the actual vehicle DPS that they do is not very good. Anti-vehicle, that is. You're dead. Hop. And now the Leman can take down the other dreadnought 1v1 quite easily. Yeah. Noise, Marines, what? That's really weird. Yeah. Kaioken not really able to deal with the Leman right now. Kind of stuck in tier 2. Man, where did this go wrong? Shit, I don't even know. There's just so many mistakes. It's hard to say. The Flamer GM burning down his entire farm over here felt bad. I felt his pain, man. It is such bullshit that Guardsmen with 6 models and no investment can just pick up Flamers and ninja bash your whole farm. IG were not designed with that capability in mind. Of course, they always could do that, but you never seen it because the Kadashan Devils weren't as powerful and spotters didn't exist, such that you had to rely on using your Guardsmen to win fights. So you always went the Sarge. Previously, you always used Guardsmen in atrocious warfare to outbleed your opponents. So you always use Guardsmen in combat, not for sidecapping constantly all game. Furthermore, if they did purchase the Flamers to go for a Ninja Bash, which they could do, they couldn't just swap out to Plasma in tier 2. So it was a really, really heavy investment for them that they had to commit to. And it punished them for the rest of the game, especially because even coming to tier 2, you want your Guardsmen to have maximum range so they can do the whole Chimera synergy or the medical bunker synergy. But that doesn't matter anymore because you just go Assault Kit Stormtroopers or a Primaris Psyker or Aura of Discipline and Ogrins. Basically, you don't need to play atrocious IG with heavy weapons teams, autocannons, spotters, manticores, and Chimera and Guardsmen lines. And this is the problem with the state of IG in the Elite mod, and it's really, really exacerbated by the fact that Guardsmen can now get Flamers and swap out to Plasma Guns in tier 2, and that really, it meant that this push here, which Kaioken timed so perfectly, and Azrael kind of messed up by being out of position, not having a las turret ready, not already having his power sword on the Commissar by the time the Noise Marine, CSM and GL Ticks arrived at the farm. Azrael kind of messed that up, and it was a good play and a well-timed play by Kaioken. He got the free gens. But then he lost the CSM. That's okay, he's still up 234 rec compared to his opponent, but then he lost his entire gen farm to Flamer GM. Now obviously if he had some ticks around here, some AC ticks or something like that, he would have been able to deal with that if he had the Chaos Sorcerer, and that's something he needed to predict, but it still feels grossly imbalanced if you ask me. But there you go, this is a sloppy Saturdays. We can't expect too much balance on that one. It's going to be all from your boy Torpid. I am tuning out.